So some background. Between October and January, we saw no less than 10 Chinese players be suspended from World Snooker Tour for allegations that were in and around match fixing. Those players were Liang Wenbo, Li Hang, Lu Ning, Yan Bingtao, Zhao Xintong, Zhang Jiankang, Chang Bingyu, Zhao Jianbo, and Bai Langning. Hi guys, welcome to Table Talk. This is a brand new series where I discuss the big issues in snooker and giving my unfiltered and unrehearsed opinions on the subject before I invite the community into the discussion, because all our opinions matter. Today we're talking about match fixing scandal. So what have we been charged with? Liang Wenbo has been charged with being concerned in fixing matches, approaching other players to fix, obstructing the investigation, and failing to cooperate with the investigation. Li Hang has been charged with being concerned in fixing matches, approaching players to fix, obstructing the investigation, and betting on matches. Lu Ning has been charged with fixing a match, approaching a player to fix, obstructing the investigation, and betting on matches. Yan Bingtao has been charged with fixing matches and betting on snooker. Zhao Xintong has been charged with being concerned in fixing matches and betting on snooker. Zhang Jiankang has been charged with fixing a match, failing to report an approach, and betting on snooker. Chang Bingyu and Zhao Jianbo have both been charged with fixing a match, and Bai Langning has been charged with being concerned in fixing a match. A couple of players have responded to the charges. Liang Wenbo has denied all charges all along. He insists he was not involved in any kind of way in any of the charges that he has been accused of. Meanwhile, and I must thank @Jellybean25 on Twitter for providing this information, Chang Bingyu has directly implicated Liang Wenbo as being partly responsible for this and actively threatening him to fix a match against Jamie Jones at the British Open. He published this on his Weibo page. Weibo, for those who don't know, is basically a Chinese version of Twitter, and he insists that he was actively threatened by Liang if he did not agree to fix the match. In this accusation, Chang also revealed that not only is that a match that he fixed, he basically suggests that he fixed the match like he was ordered to by Liang, but also that after the match, the Taiwanese snooker authority started an investigation, and that Liang actively tried to get him to cover up evidence, threatening him again if he refused to do so. Now, we do have some history in snooker with match fixing, unfortunately. Most notably, you'll probably remember back in 2012, one Stephen Lee, former world number 6, was suspended for 12 years for fixing multiple matches and failing to support the investigation. Meanwhile, a couple of years ago, Jamie Jones was suspended for 6 months after he failed to report an approach for match fixing. This is clearly a very toxic situation. It's very sad that snooker's come to this. It's a game that I like to think we all love, and it's just extremely sad, as I say, that the players felt like they had to match fix, or that greed got the better of them, or seemingly in the case of at least Chang Bingyu, that he's a young player who was actually threatened by someone he probably saw as a mentor or even a hero. Because if you think about it, Liang is one of the players who really started the Chinese boom of snooker in the mid-2000s along with Ding Junhui. So it's very sad and very disturbing that players would actually threaten each other like that. Presuming it is true, obviously. I do think that there needs to be an example made of the players, though, to ensure that everybody gets a message. Match fixing will not be tolerated if you start predetermining the results, this is not WWE, this is not professional wrestling. If you start predetermining the results, you will be caught and you will be punished. Now, a lot's been made about the handling of the investigation, the lack of updates, the lack of clarity, and the fact that it's come to this, but seemingly the anti-corruption department have not been doing their jobs, and honestly I do think heads need to roll with this. It might sound harsh, but I honestly do think that Jason Ferguson, Steve Dawson, I don't know who has to go, but someone has to. I think this will actually be a very good test of how much involvement Barry Hearn still has in sports and how much influence he has since resigning as chairman, because if he has a lot of influence, there's no way Steve Dawson's going to get anything from this in terms of sanctions, because Steve Dawson's been Barry Hearn's side for donkey's years at this point. So it'll be very interesting to see what comes of this, and indeed what charges stick. Now, something I need to make clear of this investigation: we're all responsible adults here, unless you're a child and watching this, in which case, A, you probably shouldn't be watching my channel because of the language, but B, you should still be responsible and be adult about this. Just because of these players, it does not mean that every Chinese player is a match fixer. It does not mean that every player who's accused has actually done anything wrong either. What it means is there is cause for concern that these players have been breaking the rules. It doesn't mean every Chinese player who comes on the tour is corrupt. It means these players broke rules. They may not even be corrupt. You saw with Chang's statement, by the sounds of it, he's just a scared young man who has been threatened into this. There's been talk of organised criminal gangs involved, so I would say reserve some judgment. By all means, criticise the players for doing it, but just be sensible about it. Don't go accusing players who haven't been tried for anything, and just understand that not everything comes out in the wash. So what do you all think? Do you think all players accused are guilty, or do you think someone been incorrectly accused? Do you think they should get extremely harsh punishments, or do you think we should side caution just in case they're all threatened into it or something like that? And most of all, what do you think about this style of video? Do you like this kind of discussion? If so, leave a comment, like, share, subscribe, all the good YouTube stuff. You know what to do. And until then, I will see you next time. Goodbye.